Hey guys, CoderMan here. First video of the new year, and before I get into today's topic, I just want to say thanks for all the subscribers and comments and just everybody, sending me messages and following me on other social platforms, sending me messages there. The feedback's been great. I know this channel's, still really small, but for me, I really enjoy it, and I hope you guys are getting value out of it. Because that's my purpose, is to create these videos to help people, whether it be car related or business. I want to help you guys work on your businesses, start businesses, whatever. So leave a comment below this video and let me know if I've been on target and if there's any burning questions that you have for business. So for today's video, I want to talk a little bit about setting goals and working towards whatever you're trying to get to, essentially one day at a time. Now, I don't actually mean this as, or do one thing one day at a time or whatever, but I think what happens especially with social media, is you see other people and you don't get to see their full story. You don't get to see their full journey. And you may look at what you got done today or what you're thinking you're gonna get done tomorrow, or maybe over the last week. And, it's a brand new year. Hopefully you're not necessarily starting something out, because I don't really think you should start something new on a brand new year. But, hopefully you have kind of got a plan in place and what you want to accomplish this year. And over the last couple of days, I'm sure day one, day two, you started to make really great progress. But what ends up happening is, you see other people making progress in their goals or, their jobs or whatever it happens to be. And what ends up happening is you don't get depressed, but you get down. And a lot of it comes from if somebody else is, say a little bit further along than you, and you've been following them, and all of a sudden they shot up or whatever, you kind of can get down from that. But I would say, don't focus on that. Focus on your path, on your journey. Focus on what you want to do, and take the rest of this week, or take the beginning of next week, and set some goals. And by Friday or Sunday of the following week, just reflect, look back on what you got accomplished. What can you do better? And you'll be amazed that if you actually do this week after week, you'll have an insane amount of progress and an insane amount of success in whatever you're doing. Because rather than wait a whole month or wait a whole year to look back, you're constantly tweaking, you're constantly changing. It's like if you're a sports fan and the Patriots play on Sunday, and then Monday they're back at the stadium watching the game tape and seeing what they did and how they could do better, and then they're hitting the field and they're preparing for the following week, and it's week after week they do that. But then they go on the off season and they still practice, they still are running reps, they're still looking at game tape, they're still preparing for the next season. But what they don't do is they don't go through a whole season and then look back and say, in game 3 we really should have done this or done that, because it's too late. You can't really make decisions a year later or even a couple months later. And in terms of actually, goal setting, what I like to do is I like to pick like 5 or 6 things that I want to improve on, or 5 or 6 things that I want to change, or whatever it happens to be. For this year, for me, I have some business goals, but then on the personal side, I want to, release at least one video a week to the channel. I'm still kind of toying with the idea of maybe more frequently, maybe smaller videos, maybe more behind the scenes kind of stuff. So we'll see how that goes. Want to read 100 books in 2017. And, to make sure that that's a success, I, hit up a bunch of my friends on Facebook and, text and all that good stuff, and got some great book recommendations. I created an account over on GoodReads, and I can now track what I'm reading and what I'm going to read next, and I can also, look at recommendations from other people. So if you're so inclined to see what I'm reading or have any idea or any interest, I'll drop a link to my GoodReads profile in the description. And if you have any book questions or, book recommendations, definitely leave a comment below. I've also found that, as I'm continuing to run these businesses and have fun and do all these things, that I'm kind of losing sight of the health side. And especially having a younger son, or doesn't matter if it's a son, but younger child, I want to make sure that, he grows up healthy and has a better life than, say somebody that's always sick or always, ill, whatever. So I'm actually headed right now to a nutritionist to follow up on, last year's efforts. And I'll be honest, it wasn't as successful. It wasn't as great as I thought it was going to be. I always found excuses, and it was always business related. I got to work on this. I got to go talk to that client. And, this year I have to make it a point to really nail that down, come up with a schedule, just like anything else. And, for lack of a better term or lack of a better phrase, get my ass to the gym and get healthier. Because I'm not going to be, wow, hold on, this is super bright. Okay, sorry about that. The sun really hit right when we got on the highway, and it kind of blew out the camera. So I'm heading to the nutritionist right now, and I'm going to get a progress report on what I did last year and some steps that I can, continue with this year. And that kind of brings me to my point of, you want to surround yourself with people that can help you, and you want to focus on what you're best at. I know that I'm not best at, what's the best thing that I should eat and how should I prepare it and what's the research I should do on that. So knowing that I'm not great at that, I hit up one of my friends and got a recommendation for a nutritionist who helps me with meal planning and works around stuff that, I want to eat and I don't want to eat. But, the point is she helps me in my day-to-day with eating and just being healthy. And I have those people for, business-related things. I have, people for, accounting and bookkeeping and sales and client management and just stuff that I don't want to focus on. I want to focus on the operations and growing the companies. That's always been my goal, and that's always been my focus. So I bring people in to help with the rest. I'm sure you saw the name Dealer Copilot in the title of this video and the thumbnail, and were thinking to yourself, what the heck is that? What Dealer Copilot is actually started out as a conversation with a good friend of mine, and later turned into, we wanted to build an app that we could sell in the App Store. And early last year actually turned into a full-blown company, where it's a new venture that him and I are essentially building dealership sales and marketing and service tools in the app space, mobile only, for dealerships around the country. Early December, when I started to become really busy and couldn't make as many videos, I actually ended up having the product go live, and we're in our first handful of test dealerships right now. And actually, by the end of this week, we should have one of our first signed customers on the full-fledged product. So what I plan to do is to create some videos surrounding that, how we built the product, how we're growing the company, day-to-day operations, similar stuff to how I've done with Pixelbit, just a different category, different niche, and also running a SaaS type company, I think could help a bunch of people. So if that's something that you have interest in, leave a comment below and let me know, your questions on that. And as always, if you like this video, I know it was a little bit of a hybrid video where a bunch of different topics, but I wanted to kind of set the ground for the for the coming year. And if any one part of this resonated with you, go ahead and like this video. And if you're new here, please subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.